Anonymity. That's not a word.
Anonymity. And I know Amity from the Owl House, but I don't think that's the same thing we're talking about. Hello. Welcome to another episode of the Shenanigans podcast. And today, I am joined by my friend Spark.
Hello.
Hello. Thanks for being here.
Of course, I'm excited.
Yes. All right. So, in today's podcast episode, we have decided to talk about the phases we went through as children. Some of them are probably embarrassing, but here we are. We're gonna put it on the internet anyway.
That's where all the embarrassing things go.
That's true. Oh, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, right before I got into anime the first time, was it the first time? Wait, no. Yeah, it was. I was really into Wattpad. I'm
No judgment, but
I'm looking back on like my list of. Ooh, okay. Well, do you want to go first, or do you want me to start?
I guess I could start.
Okay.
The first, well, probably the first thing I ever got into was Dora the Explorer, but I think we can skip ahead a few years.
Dora the Explorer, iconic. Loved her. Also watched Dora the Explorer.
Very good show.
Very good. Not very good at teaching me Spanish, because I don't remember any of it, but like, great show for kids.
Yeah. But okay, the first real interest I really got into, I think, would be the Rainbow Magic Fairies books.
Oh, okay. I used to see those in my like school book fair all the time, and then I would never buy them because I was too busy looking at like dogs. Like the dog
That
books.
is very fair.
Like the dog books. So like wait, I don't even know what Rainbow Magic is about. I know it's about like fairies. But I don't know anything else about like Rainbow Magic.
So there were these two girls, and they were visited by these fairies, one at a time, I think, because each book was focused on one particular fairy, and they had to stop Jack Frost and his little goblin men from
Jack
I don't know
Frost?
taking over the fairy world. Yeah, Jack Frost. I don't know why he was the bad guy. They just chose Jack Frost, I guess.
In like older times, I'm pretty sure Jack Frost was meant to be like an eviler guy, and then like Rise of the Guardians came out, and now everyone ships him with Elsa or something. I don't know. I've seen. Actually, wait. I think I read a Jack and Elsa fanfiction one time, and then I regretted it, and then I stopped. I don't remember. That was a time. That's for sure.
That was a time.
Ever since I was like a young fetus, a small child, I've always really liked dogs. My dad had this like cream Labrador. Her name was Belle, like Belle from Beauty and the Beast. And she was so lovely. She was a wonderful dog. She is unfortunately dead now because that is kind of how the life cycle of pets work.
I'm sorry.
But when I went to a trip when I was also still really young, my cousin gave me like a stuffed animal of a beagle. It was a Webkin stuffed animal of a beagle.
Oh,
and
cute.
Yes, and ever since then, beagles have been my favorite breed of dog. And I took this dog like everywhere. His name was Sam, and he was like that token childhood stuffed animal. I still have him. He sits in my room, like he's on my shelf. Love him. So yeah, that's my first phase. Dogs. Because I didn't like
A
dolls.
very wholesome phase.
I didn't like dolls. I liked, actually, that's a lie. Before I got into dogs, like before like my cousin gave me that like dog stuffed animal, I really liked Barbie dolls. Not that I was
went through barbecues too.
not that I was ever very good at taking care of them, because I found them recently when we were moving, and Oof, Barbie. Barbie didn't look so hot anymore. She, I think it's because I left her in like a cabinet, and back in Florida, it gets hot really quickly. So like part of her plastic kind of melted, and it didn't work out
Oh
very well.
no!
It didn't work out very
That's
well.
awful.
R.I.P. old Barbie doll. I was about to say you will be missed, but honestly, I played with that Barbie doll like once, and then I got the stuffed animal, and then she was abandoned for the rest of my childhood. um, R.I.P.
I
Barbie.
high key went through a Barbie phase, but it was more the movies than the dolls. Although I definitely had some dolls.
Oh, I liked the movies a lot too. I never went through like a phase of Barbie, but I did really like the movies. Okay, the older movies that I can remember are like Princess and the Pauper, Barbie and the Diamond Castle. There's more. There's like the 12 Dancing Swans or something. There's like the Nutcracker,
Princesses.
Rapunzel.
Oh,
Oh,
Disney princesses.
12 Dancing Princesses. 12 Dancing Swans. I think another one might be like the Swan Princess. I don't know. Swan Lake maybe. Wait, Swan Lake is a
Yeah,
ballet
there
for
was this one
Mormons.
like.
Okay. I like but like so I knew all of those movies. I had like a collection of like all of them, but Barbie and the Diamond Castle was my favorite one. I remember that. And then like so there was like Barbie and the Diamond Castle and then Barbie and the Princess and the Pauper were the ones that I like remember the best. And then all the others I know that I've watched, but I don't remember them. So
Those
oof.
were definitely good movies. I
Oof,
think
I
my
guess.
favorite was the 12 Dancing Princesses or Rapunzel.
I know I've watched those. I'm like almost certain I have. I just don't remember. But like the Barbie movies that I did like was kind of like the next generation of Barbie movies after that like set. So like the ones that I really well remember are, like Barbie A Fairy Secret, Barbie and the Mermaid Tale, Barbie Mermaid Tale 2, Barbie and there are others. I know there are others and I'm blanking on them right now. Oh, Barbie the Princess and the Pop Star. Um which
That
is
one.
the knockoff version of Barbie the Princess and the Pauper. I admit that the songs are catchy, but it is not as good.
Yeah, I think I was starting to get grow out of it at that point, but I think I still watched most of those movies.
Yeah. I used to like Barbie A Fairy Secret, I'm pretty sure was like my favorite one of that like generation because I remember we'd go to this place to like rent movies. It wasn't a Blockbuster and it wasn't a Red Box. It was just like another movie rental place. Blockbuster's not here anymore. We used to go to like that movie rental place, and I remember constantly renting Barbie: A Fairy Secret, and it got to the point where every time I would like give the DVDs that I wanted to rent to my father, he would take that DVD out and stick it back on the shelf. So then when we got home, I'd be like, "Wait, where did this movie go?" And he was like, "Oh, you didn't grab it?" And I was like, "Huh, I guess not," because as a child, I didn't realize that my father was tired of
Oh,
renting the same movie over and over again because it was like an extra like dollar or something. So, I mean, like in hindsight, good job on saving that extra dollar, dad, but also why you trick young me like that? It's okay.
that's interesting. That's rough.
I mean, I didn't know because I was like an airhead child. I didn't notice anything. I was kind of just like living my best life. I was living my best life until I got to middle school. Because middle school was when things actually started to get hard, and I realized that I couldn't just stroll through anymore, kind of like I had previously.
I don't know if you've heard of this one because uh I don't know, but it's called the Fresh Beat Band and it was on like Nick Jr. I think.
Oh,
And
okay.
it was my jam. Have you heard of it?
Okay. So, here's a little fun insight into my childhood. I
Ooh.
wasn't allowed to watch Nickelodeon. I was allowed to watch Nick Jr., but like I was much much more interested in Disney Channel. So like
Okay.
I know a lot of Disney Channel shows really well, but the only Nick Jr. shows I remember are like Wow Wow Wubsy, Timu Mizumi, and like oh Max and Ruby also. But like
Those are
the
all good shows.
yeah, like the ones that were like really really meant for like I guess small tiny children. And like by the time I was allowed to watch Nickelodeon, all of the shows that were airing just didn't interest me. The jokes that those shows made, my parents didn't like, so that's why I wasn't allowed to watch them.
I wasn't allowed to do Nickelodeon or um most live action shows I couldn't watch. The only live action shows I watched was Fresh Beat Band and Electric Company, which,
Oh, okay.
which was on PBS. Most of my
Oh,
childhood was PBS.
I liked, okay. I got into PBS kind of, I guess, later. Not late enough where I still couldn't enjoy it, but I guess like later where I couldn't enjoy it as long, I guess. But the stuff I remember from PBS is like Martha Speaks, Super Y, oh, Daniel Tiger.
Oh, Arthur.
Arthur, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then at one point I really, 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 really liked Fetch with Ruff Ruffman.
That
Um
was a good
I
show.
wanted to like be one of those contestants, but then I didn't realize that like the kids on those shows were like middle schoolers. So I was watching all that stuff as elementary school, and I remember very very vividly remembering that 2 is the only even prime number. I didn't even know what a prime number was at that time, but I remember I went up to some random middle school and I was like, 2 is the only even prime number. And this middle schooler was like, "Do you even know what a prime number is?" Like with the most judging face ever, which I guess makes sense because I was like really small and this middle schooler was like really tall and I was trying to like outsmart them, I guess, when I obviously wasn't smarter. By stating that 2 is the only even prime number or whatever. I didn't win that argument. So like the Fresh Beat Band, that's what it was called.
It was very fun. I dressed up as, I think her name was Kiki for Halloween, and I got my little brother to dress up as, I don't know what his name was, but he wore yellow
Okay.
for Halloween.
Okay. That I've always wanted to do like matching costumes like that with siblings. But I don't have any siblings. So I never got that opportunity to. The next really, really big phase that I went through was I really, 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 really liked Selena Gomez. I thought she was great. She was wonderful. I liked her music. I thought she was a great actor and dancer. And Wizards of Waverly Place was an iconic Disney show. And her as Alex Russo was even more iconic. Um, that's like the next. I think Selena Gomez is like the first person I can ever remember like really looking up to and like wanting to be like that person. Um, so when I was younger, I used to have really, really, really bad stage fright. So even though I liked to sing and I liked to dance, I would never do any like performing things or anything. Because I was terrified of the stage. And my mom was always like, if you want to be like Selena Gomez, you have to get over this fear. And after Selena Gomez, the next like biggest thing, which I think is also something you will be able to talk about, was My Little Pony.
Oh yeah, My
Friendship is
Little Pony.
Magic. Yes.
Yeah. Who was your favorite character?
As a kid, I really, really liked Fluttershy. She was my
She's the
favorite.
good one.
Who was your favorite My Little Pony character?
Twilight Sparkle.
Oh,
She was
Twilight.
the book girl and I was the book girl. So also she had, I don't, was Spike like, I guess like her little sibling, she treated him.
Yeah.
And I a little sibling, so I clung to her.
I My Little Pony was so good. That had such a positive influence on like young me. It was a great show.
I'm not sure what's in order, so I'm trying to think about this. I know I definitely, I think after My Little Pony was Ninjago.
Oh, Ninjago. Okay. I know like the really early seasons of Ninjago. I haven't kept up with it.
Yeah, I think I watched the first three as a kid, and then I forgot about it, and then I've watched up to season five, I think. I don't know.
Okay. It's been so long since I've watched Ninjago. Like, I could name everyone, I think. There's Kai,
I
the
think
fire dude. Jay is
yeah,
blue, he's lightning. Cole is black, and he's earth. And then Zane is the ice ninja, and he's also technically a ninjroid, right? He's like a robot, I
yeah, because
think.
he's the robot.
Yeah. And then Lloyd Garmadon, the son of Lord Garmadon, who was like the main villain for a really long time, is the green ninja.
Who was your favorite ninja?
I really liked Jay
It is
as
a good one.
like a young child. I don't know if I'd still like him now as much. I think maybe I will. I don't know. Kai was too angry for me. Cole was too dead for me. Zane was a robot. That kind of freaked me out, so I was scared away from that. So I was like, okay, I guess Jay's the only normal one. Oh, and also Lloyd was like evil. I mean, he wasn't evil, but he was evil. So I was like, nope, no him. And I was like, okay, guess Jay's the only normal one.
Okay,
I
that's
was,
one way to narrow it down.
I was a really judgmental kid for like no reason too. But yeah, I liked Nia though, Kai's sister. I liked
Nia's
her a
good.
lot. She was pretty good. And then I also liked her I also liked the dynamic that Jay was like, "Oh my god, your sister's so great." And Kai's like, "Yeah, whatever." And I know that he really liked Nia, I'm pretty sure. Oh.
Yeah, they had that whole romance thing going on.
Did they end up together?
Um,
Or,
I think so.
oh, okay.
I think they did.
Good job, Jay. You got the girl.
But there's like a love triangle in between
Wait.
with Cole. Which
Oh my
there was
god,
no
Cole?
reason.
Wait.
So they went to this futuristic place, and Nia's like, "Oh, look at this thing. It'll tell you your true love." And she's like, "Wow, I can't wait for it to tell me it's Jay." But then it said it was Cole, and she's like, "Oh, I guess I have feelings for Cole now." It was so dumb. It was interesting.
It sounds really dumb. That sounds like creating a love triangle for the purpose of creating one, not because
I'm pretty sure that's what the writers were saying. They
Not
just wanted
because-
some drama.
I mean, okay. As much as I like hate getting involved in tea myself, tea and drama is very interesting to listen to. I won't deny that. So after My Little Pony, I really, really, really liked Warrior Cats. And we would also roleplay as like our Warrior Cat OCs at the time, and this is where I say we were basically furries, because we basically were. We were like the most innocent version of furries though, because we would like act like cats. And that was, I guess, basically it.
Now, when you roleplay, is this like online or with friends offline?
I would roleplay with my with like my friends in class, because we all read Warrior Cats, so we could all like roleplay during recess.
Okay.
Like we used to have recess in like this giant field too. And in Warrior Cats there are like clans. So we would divide the field into the separate clans. Because our OCs were all like leaders of like a new descendant of clans or whatever that we created. So we would constantly have like quote unquote diplomatic meetings when most of them were just us trying to cause tea for the purpose of making an interesting roleplay. But like we roleplayed Warrior Cats for like a really long time. That was like the majority of like my 4th and 5th grade life, right before I got into like anime. But while like during the Warrior Cats phase, as big as a part of Warrior Cats was, I also really liked Disney Channel. Like that's where I was really starting to like, I mean, technically I've watched Disney Channel for like the entire period of time, but like Austin and Ally, Good Luck Charlie, Liv and Maddie, Girl Meets World, like those are like the shows that I really best remember. Oh, also Shake It Up. Not that I was as interested in Shake It Up, but like just like that generation of shows from Disney Channel. And I also really like Disney Channel original movies, like Teen Beach Movie. I look back on it now and realize that it's very cheesy and very predictable. However, childhood me loved it, so I'm obligated to still love it. And even if it was predictable, the songs slap. So, Cruisin' for a Bruisin', at one point, I used to know the choreography for it. Granted, it probably wasn't good choreography because I didn't, like, watch a video or anything on how to do it. I just kind of watched the movie so many times that I got, like, a basic movement of where my arms and legs were supposed to go. And I remember I performed it for my dad once, and he was like, wow. And that's all he said, was just wow. And to this day, I don't know if it was a good wow or a bad wow. So yeah, but after Warrior Cats, this is when I started getting into like Minecraft YouTubers and Wattpad. So my token Minecraft YouTubers were like, I still watch LD Shadow Lady to this day, actually. I just enjoy her content and she makes me laugh, and that's pretty much all I look for in a YouTuber. I think she's like the only gaming YouTuber I still watch consistently. But at that period of time, I really liked Aphmau and Stacy Plays, Lauren Z Side. Just I guess that collection. Oh, Dan TDM. I like popular MMOs and Think Noodles as well. Like
I also went through Minecraft YouTubers, but I only watched Stampy Cat, and then I watched I
oh,
Will Squid
I
because he was friends with Stampy Cat.
oh man, how could I forget about Stampy? Okay. My parents thought his voice was the most annoying thing ever, and I couldn't
My
watch him.
parents too.
I couldn't watch him without wearing headphones because if I didn't put headphones in, they'd tell me to change what I was watching because his voice was so annoying to them. I look back on it and I realize that his voice is kind of annoying, but I get it. It's like it's meant for kids, so like little kids won't mind and they'll like that energetic personality, which I did like as a kid. So kudos to you, Stampy. I man, I'm thinking about all of it now. All of his dogs too. I went back recently to watch like just whatever his latest Lovely World episode is. He doesn't really upload on his Lovely World anymore, which I guess makes sense. He's been doing it for so long. I'm surprised that he'd still have the motivation to do that. But
Yeah.
Barnaby, his like oldest dog, is still alive. But it was really nice to see that he's still doing well and also he's like married to Squishy now. So,
I heard. I was so
yeah.
surprised.
I as a like
But
young
also
kid,
happy for them.
yeah. As a young kid, I couldn't see it at all, just because I was a young kid and shipping was like not in my radar
Yeah.
at that period of time. But looking back on it, I'm like, actually, it does make sense, and I'm glad that they're happy together. That's what I like. I like it when like my childhood YouTubers get to be happy, or I guess I like it when people are happy in general.
Yeah.
I knocked out like half of my list in like one go, so. I think I'll let you share a little bit more just to even this out a little better.
Okie dokie. I am almost at the end of my list too.
Okay.
Mostly because I still enjoy what my middle school self was into.
Okay.
So um books were like a huge thing. For most of my life, but especially middle school, because I didn't have friends, so I just bring books places. But the biggest book, of course, would be Percy Jackson. I was
Okay.
so into that.
I didn't really get into Percy Jackson until the musical. I
The
like
musical is so good.
I love the musical. I actually went to see the musical with Alex and JC when it was on tour. The show was really good. I really enjoyed it. Technically, I went through like a really minor Harry Potter phase because I didn't read Harry Potter until like middle school, even though most people
Oh yeah,
read
me
Harry
too.
Potter like earlier on. I really liked it. I have more mixed feelings about it now. I mean, okay, I still enjoy Harry Potter, but J.K. Rowling is doing some questionable things.
Questionable.
So I haven't really bought any like more merchandise or anything new, I guess, just because I don't particularly want to support some of the things that she's doing.
Yeah, that is very fair.
But I still like Harry Potter and I do enjoy it. I know that you still really like Story Thieves. I don't know if that's something that you
Yes,
read
I
back
do.
is that something you read back in middle school or is this something you read more?
Um,
Okay.
I actually remember how old I was. I was 12 when I read the first book. I was so excited reading it. I was like, wow, even the acknowledgments are funny because he did a silly little thing in acknowledgments.
Mhm.
I remember being 12 because I went on the author's blog and he was like, the characters are 12 or 13. I remember thinking, oh, I hope they're 12 because I'm 12. And then I totally grew up with the series, like, as it was published.
Okay.
And then I remember being 13 thinking, oh, I hope they're 13 because I'm 13.
I think that's always the best part when you get characters that are around like the same age, then you can really relate to them. Everyone from the Story Teams Discord server keeps yelling at me to read the books. And
They're a fun time.
I hope that I can get around to reading them at some point. I just know that it's like a series and I tend to be really bad at finishing series versus like reading a single book. What is Story Thieves about actually? Is it
So the main girl, her name is Bethany. Her mom is a normal person. Well, I should say her mom is a non-fictional person, and her dad is a fictional person from books, so she can jump in and out of books. And then the main boy Owen, he finds out her secret, And he's like, "Oh, well, can I go into books with you?" And she's like, "No, you can't." Um, but they figure things out. She's looking for her dad because her dad is missing, and she thinks he's in a book. So she's looking for her dad in all the books. And Owen's like, "Oh, I'll help you find your dad. There's probably a spell in this fantasy series I love that will help you find him." She's like, "Okay." So they go in, but instead Owen totally messes things up, because he wants to be the hero of the books, and then shenanigans happen. It's really cute, fast-paced, silly, a lot of book references.
Okay. That sounds really cute, actually. But I really liked reading like romance novels and romance, just I guess like young adult novels, and I started reading them around like fifth grade, which was probably too young in hindsight. Um, but I never ran into anything particularly uh spicy from what I read. so so I was okay. All of my phases are kind of like mixed together.
Oh, mine too.
Cause like I tried to put them in order, but a lot of them overlap. So like while I liked Warrior Cats, I also liked Minecraft YouTubers, but I also liked Wattpad at the same time. So it's kind of like really mixy. But after like that entire mixed section, I really got into anime. And I have a really long history with anime that's kind of wacky because when I was young, like too young to be watching anime considering like the topics that are in it, um my mom and I watched this animated series called Magi, and we watched both seasons because there were only 2 seasons of it. And I've been meaning to go back and rewatch it, but we watched it, and that was like my first introduction to anime as like a 6-year-old. Then I stepped away from it for a very long time. But then when I got back into it, I really liked Fairy Tail because my friend got me into Fairy Tail. But from Fairy Tail, I also got into Sword Art Online for the first time, and I think we know how the Sword Art Online thing went, considering.
Your profile picture right now.
Yeah. And then I stepped away from it for a little while, and that's how I got into Broadway. And I was into Broadway. I'm still into Broadway technically. Like right now, I guess where I'm at is just kind of it's a mix of Broadway, anime, and a lot of other stuff. So I don't really know if I can call this phase like one singular thing. I don't know. The biggest thing I know you really like right now is The Promised Neverland, but I'm guessing you have other interests other than
I do.
other like
I love
phases.
Promised Neverland a lot. Before that, I want to shout out to Miraculous Ladybug.
Oh yeah, Miraculous Ladybug. That's like the profile. Like Marinette is like your profile picture on a lot of other accounts.
Meredith is my profile picture everywhere except for Discord. I love her so much. She's so good.
I like her
I
voice
got into
actor,
that.
Christina
Yeah.
V. I think she's a very
Yeah.
good voice actor. And even the guy who plays Adrian, Bryce Papenbrook, also good voice actor.
She's good. Not a good singer though. At least not in the Christmas special.
Oh,
That was interesting.
I mean, yeah, people can be really good at voice acting, but singing is an entirely other thing because it's melodies.
It's a different skill set.
Yeah, it's melodies, it's harmonies, it's beat.
But yeah, Miraculous Ladybug is still a big part of my big interest. I was introduced to it by my babysitter. She liked it, and so now I like it. And it has changed me, I'm gonna be honest, because of all their shenanigans. I watched a show where the two main characters got together and fell in love. And because of Miraculous Ladybug, I was terrified. I was like, oh no, they're gonna lose their memories, they're gonna get hurt, something bad is gonna happen. I was so terrified, but it was fine. They ended up in love and it ended. I was like, wait, what? Huh? That's not how this goes. So the show has definitely messed me up. But it's fine. It's fine.
I know that one of the biggest part about the shows is the love square.
Yes.
So like, oh, I gotta remember who likes who. Okay, Cat Noir, which is Adrian. Cat
Yes.
Noir likes Ladybug. Ladybug is Marinette. but Marinette likes Adrian, but they don't know that they're each other. So it's like this constant cycle of, I really like this person, and I also really like this person, who are the same person, but my brain's trying to figure out a good way to explain it, but it's just like, that's the best way, I think, is that they are each other, and they're pining for each other, but they don't know that they're pining for each other.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wait, so does that love square actually ever get solved? Do they actually get together at some point in the series, or is it still going on?
It's season 4 right now. It's very good, but they're not together yet.
4 seasons in? Oh wow.
Yes.
That's a really long
And each
time.
season has like 27 episodes.
Oh my
And they're all
God.
20 minutes.
Oh wow. That's like oof. That's a long time for them to be pining after each other.
Well, there's some stuff, like they have phases, like, oh, I'm not in love anymore. This is too difficult. I give up. But then they change their minds and go back. So,
Well, do they know that, like, they are each other at this point? Or are they still, or is it still like the
you
full-on
would think
love square?
so. There's a couple episodes where they find out and then their minds are erased again. But currently they do not know.
Wait, their minds get erased? Oh, wait, actually, isn't Adrian's dad, like, the villain? Or one of the villains?
He's the main villain, yeah.
Okay.
He sucks. I hate him.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like, he is high-key abusing his child. It is not cool.
Oh, yeah, that's not cool. Wait, so they found out that they are each other, but then their minds
They did not.
get erased.
Oh, they did. Yeah. Because the main villain they fight each episode, called an Akuma, they have different powers, and the powers of that one was mind erasing.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. This okay, I understand why people would like it, but like that's a really long time to be playing with a love square, or like I guess I don't want to say baiting, but kind of baiting the audience into being like,
It is baiting. I'm just gonna be honest.
okay.
It is.
Like baiting the audience to be like, oh my god, they're gonna get together in this episode, and then their like minds get erased or whatever.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot. What I do know that like what Miraculous Ladybug ended up being in its like current form wasn't like how it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be more anime like, I think, in the beginning.
I don't remember why they changed it. I think it was either they switched production companies or it was a budget thing.
I think
Or
it's
no, actually,
it
I
might
think
be
they wanted
both.
to market it to kids more.
Oh yeah,
And so
yeah.
they changed the style.
That makes sense because even though anime is, I was about to call it glorified cartoons, but that might be kind of mean, even though it kind of is. It's not meant for children. let's just state that now. It is like not meant for like people who aren't teenagers.
Other than the Pokemon shows.
Well, okay, yeah, there are like Pokemon and Digimon and stuff like that. Those are fine, but like other animes should not be meant for children.
Yeah.
I guess it just really depends. I think I've covered everything, all of my phases, or I guess my like biggest interests as a child.
Got all of them?
I think I got all of them because like even though I was talking about like how I really liked SAO and Fairy Tail, and then I went to like I got into a really really big Broadway phase actually. I guess I should elaborate more on that. So the show that got me into musical theater was none other than Hamilton. the big boy musical itself. My friend got into Hamilton, and then that friend got my other friend into Hamilton, and then both of them got me into Hamilton because as a sixth grader, yes, as a sixth grader, I was I don't want to say I didn't have my own personality because I probably did, but a lot of me was like, I need to be cool to have friends and like their interests. And they're liking musicals right now, so I'm gonna like musicals now. So that way I have something to talk about. But it ended up working out for the better anyway because After I got into Hamilton, I was getting better at like performing and like not being scared of the stage as much. From there, it was like Hamilton, then it was Dear Evan Hansen, Heathers, Be More Chill, just like that kind of the big four. It's technically what they're referred to as. But from there, I just kind of kept branching out into more plays, more musicals, more theater in general. But then over quarantine, I got back into anime, which is kind of where I stand now. Technically, I'm also kind of delving into like that K-pop realm, but I'm scared to like dip my foot further in it because the fans scare me.
I've heard some things.
It's all good. But
All
actually,
good in the neighborhood.
all good in the neighborhood. That was
That's a Saf quote.
it is a Saf quote from the first episode. And Saf the giraffe. Quality content that I ended up with. So, okay. The Promised Neverland. I know that this is one of like the biggest things right now that you are really enjoying. So I know that it's about so I know that the main three characters are Ray, Norman, and Emma. But there are also a bunch of like other small great children.
They have a lot of siblings.
Oh, are they like okay, I'm gonna guess that they're not like blood siblings.
No, they're not.
Okay.
So they're I guess foster siblings would be the word for it.
Alright.
They're all at the orphanage together. A lot of the fandom likes to ignore the fact that they say siblings every 30 minutes and they ship them together, and it kind of sucks. Because they say siblings, they say family constantly. They call Isabella mom, all of them. So it's like, you can't really ship them if they're siblings. That's not how it works.
Not only that, aren't they like...
They're 11!
11?
Like, that's so tiny!
I don't
to
think...
Be fair,
do they get older?
To be fair, at some point, yeah, at some point, they do get older. But for the main story, they are 11, and yikes.
11-year-olds? Something about that doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I did ask about like the whole child eating thing.
Yeah, so there's like a major plot twist in the first episode. I'm not gonna say anything else. I don't want to spoil it.
Okay.
But
okay, that's valid. Because the only reason I ended up asking about the child eating thing anyways was because of that video that YouTube recommended to me where Norman was literally like in between two pieces of bread like a sandwich.
Like a lot of memes for that fandom that I am uncomfortable with.
Okay. I don't know why he's constantly the one
Norman
who's
is the
apparently...
most popular character, so that may be why.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
I love Norman, but okay, just the fact that he gets so much fan content, I don't know. Ray and Emma just became more special to me. I don't know how that worked.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. I'm trying to figure out like a good way to phrase this. Sometimes I like purposely avoid characters just because they're the most popular character and I know that I can find content for them easily. But the problem with characters being so popular is that you have the way the character actually acts, and then you have like the fandom representation of that character, and then they tend to be like really different. Kind of like what happened with like Dear Evan Hansen. So you had actual Connor from the show who was, for lack thereof better words, not really a great person. But then you have fandom Connor, who's like a cinnamon roll, and he's just misunderstood. And I mean, he is misunderstood, but like...
Yeah, I know what
the
you
two
mean.
different, like, portrayals. So that's part of the reason why I tend to avoid some of the most popular characters. Like, not that I can't love them or anything, but, like, sometimes the fandom just tends to take things too far. So then you get into a point where, like, you have to actually differentiate that character versus fandom portrayal, because it's just not the same anymore.
It's the fandom favorites that get the most attention.
Yeah. Like, not that those characters don't deserve attention, because they're great, but...
Yeah.
But, at one point, because you're always shoved with so much fandom content, because that's just part of liking a show, you look for content for it. So then you get shoved with the content, and then you realize that part of the portrayals aren't accurate, and then you just get into, like, this confusing state. But alas, that's just the one of the great joys of the internet, I guess. I don't know. The internet has its goods and bads because, like, if it wasn't for the internet, we wouldn't be friends. So I think that's kind
Yeah.
of cool. But then there's also that like other side of the internet that is scary, and I think I will avoid.
I mean, the internet is filled with people, and people have their good parts and their bad parts and their kind of shady parts.
Yeah,
And so it all mixes together.
it's filled with people, and people are complex. Sometimes we suck, but hopefully most of the time we don't. Thanks for joining us on today's episode of the Shenanigans podcast. Another thank you to Spark for joining me. I really appreciate that you are here and that you agreed to talk about childhood phases. I thought it was fun.
It was fun. Thank you for inviting me.
I'm glad. Not I'm gonna be honest. I was considering asking you earlier to if you wanted to be part of the podcast, but part of me was like, I don't talk to Spark vocally very often. So I don't know how well this is gonna go. But it went well, because we're here now, so
You're a cool individual, and I like to talk to you, so it's all good.
my heart. Thank you. That made me really happy.
Yay!
Oh, you're also a cool individual. I realize that that's like such a lame compliment to throw back. I should probably say something more original, but you're also very great.
Thank you.
That is
Can
the
I
end.
make a silly request?
Yes.
Can we make our outro like Stampy Cat? Can we shout bye?
Yes, we can.
Bye!
Bye!